There she is.
A while.
I hear. What was that? I couldn't hear you.
I said, I feel like it's been a while.
It's easily a couple months.
Are you still in California?
No, I got back on Thursday,
Oh, so you were there for a while.
2.5 weeks.
How was it?
Oh my God. Everything was magical. I'm happy I took the opportunity. I got to meet a childhood hero
Who's
and
that?
Marshall Falk.
Yeah, wait, I know his name, but I don't, is he an author? No,
He's a Super Bowl champion
oh
for
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
Rams.
yeah,
hmm Hall of
yeah.
Famer, great dude.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that
My
was
boys would be jealous.
one day I'll get an autograph and I'll give it to you so you can give it to your kids.
Aw, you're sweet. Did he give you an autograph or you didn't want to ask like in that kind of setting?
It was business oriented, so
Okay.
I had to act calm and nonchalant.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
Meanwhile, I'm
yeah.
like, oh my God.
You're inside freaking out meanwhile. Hello, nice to meet you.
Hi, Raphael.
Exactly.
How have you
Cool. I'm
been?
happy. Okay.
How have you been?
Pretty good. Just, getting my kids off and working, and that's pretty much it.
I
It's
love
my
that.
life.
Yeah, pretty much. Two kids are gone. You have one
Yep,
left in high school.
exactly. And look at you. I'm impressed. She got mono this summer. Who
Ooh.
gets mono during a pandemic?
Sneaky. You gotta watch out for it.
Okay,
So we'll get right into it. And
cool.
thank you again for just taking this time. And just let me know, how's your fitness journey been throughout your lifetime? What's changed? What's the same? What's the focus now? I'm
You
only,
said fitness training,
yes, your health and wellness journey. So,
right? Okay, cool. I just want to make sure I heard you correctly. So, like, it's my parents were really, really into fitness. So I got really lucky with that. And I hated it when I was growing up. I wasn't really an athlete. I'm not super coordinated. And I don't really share that with everyone, but I think it's a good thing for people to know because you can still be in really good shape and still be into health and fitness and wellness and not be like the major basketball player, soccer player, whatever. And so, like, I also grew up in the city. So we didn't like, I'm not saying there weren't sports teams and stuff like that, but it's not like the big rah rah that it is in the suburbs. So like if you weren't into that, you didn't like not fit in or it wasn't not cool the way it is, I feel like out here. And so I did my own thing, but there was a certain point where like I was going through my own stuff and I just wasn't feeling great about myself, excuse me, and just wasn't feeling great about life in general. And my parents were like, why don't you, go for a run? So Central Park was my backyard and I went for a run and I remember I was with my mom and she was in better shape than I was. And I'm like, wait, what? And I was dying and she was so annoyed at me because I was slowing her run down. And I was like, she didn't, I don't think wanted to leave me in the park by myself. I mean, to walk home by myself. And so we got in a little fight because I couldn't continue. My lungs were dying. I had the cramp in the side and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have a cramp. Like back then I was like, you don't push through that. You fold. So that was like a really early memory. And then, but I wanted more. And so I went back for a little bit more and it was the same thing. And then a little bit more. And then they were like, they found me this person. I guess it's what you'd call a personal trainer today. They had personal trainers then too, but it wasn't really, it was for teens and it was more mobility and ball and like the Vela bands and all that sort of
uh,
stuff. Yeah. A little
I
plug for
like
you.
that plug-in. Thank you.
And so I really didn't like it. I didn't like her. And not that there was anything wrong with her, the connection wasn't there. And then so I kind of dabbled in it on and off for the next number of years through college. But really, I mean, in college, you know, was like eating pizza, dipping it in like ranch or blue cheese dressing, like every nasty thing you could possibly put in your body, and drinking and whatever that stuff. And at a certain point during college, I was like miserable with that. I'm like, this is not working for me. This doesn't feel good. And so I stopped all of that and like went on this health and wellness journey for food, but never got into the fitness part. And hopefully you'll edit whatever is too long here.
You're fine.
And then in my late 20s, I met a trainer. I was introduced to a trainer and started with him. His name's Ben. I'm still really close with him. And my parents had been working with trainers their whole life, not their whole life, but their whole adult life. And he kind of put me on, he got me really fit. I was like, I mean, I think the lowest I was 15% body fat, which
Holy,
for a woman is very low, and you don't need to aspire to that at all. But we called, his name was Ben, so we called my body by Ben. And I felt so good. It wasn't about how I looked, because actually I was probably too lean. I probably didn't have much of a body at that time, but I felt so good. And at that moment, it was like he was encouraging, he helped with the diet too, lots of protein, like, you know, that big protein thing, which I don't do at all anymore because I don't eat animal protein. But he changed my life. And from there, I've just stayed on. There were times like there was a period of time when, you know, I had all my kids and I was just juggling too much and I didn't get to the gym, or I moved out to the suburbs and I found a trainer, but it was just, there was no comparison, which really taught me there's a difference in trainers like yourself versus like more of an amateur or just your basic, like who isn't even paying attention or isn't getting to know your body or what you need, your needs are. And then, you know, back and forth, different things, yoga, Pilates, kickboxing, all of it. But I happen to personally really love weight training. And then the mental, you said just not just fitness, all the health and wellness.
for sure, because you can go on with the mental. It seems even with Ben, when you were working with him, it was a lot of being able to get you prepped and primed, and your energy was high. So take the
Yeah.
floor.
And so like when I was working with him, I think I even may have tried to connect you with him. I can't remember though, in the city,
That
but
was him.
yeah.
Yeah, we still were never able to. I know he was caught up with a call, I think, when I was in the city in Harlem, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
Hopefully
yeah.
you will, because he's amazing. I mean, I don't know if you know, like, so he introduced me to people like Charles Poliquin, who isn't alive
R.I.P.
anymore, but was like ART specialist. And he's the real deal. And someone named Keith Pine, who like does major body work so that your recovery from this kind of like intense training. But when your body is really firing at a high level physically, and then you're eating well, this starts to connect and you are out of that brain fog and you can really see clearly what's ahead of you, what's inside of you, and what's going on. But when we're not working out, we tend to not eat as well. And so we're eating foods that are processed, we're eating foods that have chemicals in them, and our brains get fuzzy. It's not, and then people wonder, wait, why can't I stop eating chocolate? Or why can't I stop the sugar? Or why can't I stop the carbs? And they blame themselves. I'm not strong enough. I don't have enough willpower or self-control. But the truth is there are things in each of those foods that are addictive, and they cause us to want more and crave more, that no matter how much self-control you have, it's hard to combat that desire. And then it's a vicious cycle, because then you feel bad about yourself. And when you feel bad about yourself, you're not going to be like, oh, let me get a grapefruit. You're going to be like,
Like,
oh,
go
I
to
want to,
McDonald's.
what?
It's like I'm gonna go get some McDonald's.
Exactly. And but when you let the mental health, the physical health, and the diet become like a triad, you're going to be unstoppable.
I tell you, it's like I was just thinking about this when you were speaking. When you put a try to put a circle into a square peg, it's never gonna work. And it's when you're giving the body the wrong things, the micronutrients and are just not being taken care of, where the body is just like we
Totally.
need stuff, you know.
Actually, this past week I was like I just had two kids go to college, and my house is quiet now. It's just me and my daughter, which is amazing, but it's different. And so like I can't remember. I said to someone, I'm like, I don't really remember ever being an emotional eater, but I guess I am one right now. Because it's not that I like went off the rails and like totally went crazy, but I hadn't been eating great. And I noticed my energy levels went down, my focus. Not only that, but like when I sat down to work, my creativity that's normally there and the ability to just start writing or coming up with ideas or big picture, I couldn't grasp anything. My mind was all over the place and stuff like that. So I think it's really important, but I also think you got to set yourself up for success. So if you're right now a person who's eating like 3 meals a day, you have bacon, egg, and cheese for breakfast, your lunch is whatever, a turkey wrap, and your dinner is like a cheeseburger or chicken and pasta and salad. You don't have to change that. What you want to do is just add some good stuff in. So maybe in the middle of the day, you add a smoothie in or some greens in. You crowd out the bad stuff rather than focusing on like completely removing all the stuff that you enjoy and like.
For
Does that
sure.
make
Yeah,
okay.
it makes sense. Like, well, even what I'm seeing with myself is just putting in the morning, I'm drinking 4 cups of water and then I have a vegetable juice and I put greens powder in there.
Exactly.
I'm off the walls where I'm just hyper for the next 4 or 5 hours and then I'm taking care of my body. I'm like, okay, cool. Am I thirsty or am I hungry? So I think it's about just slowing down. I'm sorry?
Sorry. You made just such a good point that I can't even believe I didn't hit on. Are
Yeah,
you thirsty? Like we're all so dehydrated and we're dehydrated not from apple juice but from water, and sometimes we go want to eat thinking that we're hungry but we're actually needing water. So I always encourage people to have like a big glass of water before they make any decisions.
for sure. Because then you get to, if it's all about like what I'm seeing, just slowing things down to be able to say, all right, cool. What is it that I truly need at this moment? All right, water, I'm good. Am I hungry? Oh, let me have a snack, and then just keep checking in with ourselves because we can get caught up and be so reactive that now we're not responding to what it is that we need, what it is that we truly need to do. So, yeah, I agree.
Actually, I'm going to ask you a question. Can I turn it around on you?
Always.
Okay, cool. So it takes people a lot of time to be able to remember to check in with themselves because they're on autopilot and they've been doing XYZ every day for the past X amount of years. How did you get to the point where you were able to like do that mental scan?
So, I don't think it's about getting to a point. I feel like it's either somebody's going to have a moment where they break and they need to just realign themselves, or they're going to realize, all right, cool, what I'm doing, I'm not fulfilled, I'm not happy, and that takes a lot of work to be able to just say that they're going to do that. For me, it's been meditation to allow me to slow down my mind and really ask myself questions. What I say to people is honestly, give yourself 5 minutes in the morning to just be with yourself. Like even with my parents, I tell them, I'm like, don't talk to me right now. Just drink your water, get yourself set, and then we can talk. You know, people always trying to help others, especially with parents. Focus on you first, take care of yourself, and then you put your mask on first, and then you can help others.
Love it. Cool.
So where are you now with your health and fitness? Where are your goals? What are your goals? What are you doing?
I'm in a really good place.
Look phenomenal.
Oh, thank you. Also, I'm really into skin, like my skin, and I don't do a lot of skincare like regimens or anything like that, but I feel like what we put in our body really impacts our skin. So again, that's like hydration and eating really good food. So like I was on this journey where like it's a process. It used to be like I would go to the health food store and get some processed health food stuff that I liked, like maybe vegetarian sausage or whatever it would be, and that was really good. And now I'm at a different place where I wouldn't have that now because that's a lot of chemicals too and a lot of fake stuff that I don't want to put in my body. So I would say I'm the 80-20 rule. I'm not going to say like last week I didn't have popcorn because I did, but I try to, as my daughter mentioned, and I think it's great, it's intuitive eating. Everyone's told there's this different fad or there's this different way to go, and it may be true but it may not work for you. What works for you? So you got to clear your body out a little bit. So maybe go light one day, 2 days, and then listen. Are you really hungry? Is your stomach gurgling because it's digesting? We think it's gurgling because we're hungry. Half the time we're still trying to process the food from 3 days before. Make sure you release and eliminate well, not to get gross here, but it's really important. People don't know how to go to the bathroom anymore, and they don't go to the bathroom, and that's toxicity that sits inside your system. And that toxicity, it's in our gut. Our gut is our second brain. So that toxicity creates our stomach to hurt, but also up here to get clouded. So for me, I'm in a really good place. I definitely go off, but I meditate all the time like you do, and I eat well. I work out with a trainer many times a week, and I think he's phenomenal, and really shifted my fitness goals from I tend to like get muscular and bulk up a lot, and so I was, but I was also lean and strong, and now it's more just long and lean, which I really like. And then I do my own cardio outside, but I don't just do this for not just the appearance, but to stay in shape, I do this for this. It's all about this. And as you can hear, I have a ton of energy and I can talk for a while and I can talk fast. And so could you imagine if I didn't exercise?
You're like, hey, yeah, I don't know. I don't even know. Since I've met you, you've always had this glow. You always had a lot of energy. So I
Thank
don't know
you.
any other Pam, to be
Well,
honest.
I feel like I'd have even like more energy to burn, like if I didn't. So I'm like burning it through, but you're right. We've only known each other this way.
And what's interesting, what you mentioned with just gut health, I know this dietitian. She actually made a very good point. She said that sometimes that it may be that people just don't have enough acid to burn up
Absolutely.
food
The
because
hydrochloric
of
acid.
acids. Exactly. So that actually brought something up to my mind. You know, people are just trying to take all these acid blockers, but now, mind you, if people don't have enough acid or enough good bacteria to break down food, and now they're taking something else, they're really at a deficit. So putting food in you like McDonald's and all this fast food is now hurting you because you don't have enough to break it down. So now it's just destroying you internally.
No matter what you're eating, I think everyone should be on a probiotic. I mean, I am not a doctor, but I think that's like a non-negotiable
I
first
agree.
thing in the morning on an empty stomach. And then I think everyone should take some form of a digestive enzyme, and you should not be getting this at CVS or Walgreens. You need really high quality of this. It's really important. It makes a difference. Just like, whatever cardiologist you're going to use, if you need to go to a cardiologist, makes a difference. So does this. And I also think we spend tons of money on diet fads, on trying to like quickly lose weight or quickly feel better or whatever. Take that money and go to integrative physician, a medical doctor who also looks at the whole body, not just your symptoms, and get yourself set up, get yourself on some supplements, figure out what's missing and bring that back in, because it will make you feel a lot better.
I agree. It's truly being able to hit things at a molecular level. Now you're really gonna just dial it in and be a high performer.
Like
Love.
you,
I, I honestly am right there. I'm just perfecting a couple more skills. I'm just hard.
you are there.
Thank you, thank you. All right, I do have a couple more questions.
Sure.
So when you look at your amazing journey, everything that you've been through, what life lessons stand out to you that you would like to share to people?
So we are often complaining about the things that don't go right and complaining about the people who have wronged us or hurt us. And I have learned for myself that those people are my biggest gifts. They're the best thing in the world. And does that mean I like them as people and want to be friends with them? Maybe, but maybe not. But what they've offered me, if I decide to take the challenge and work with it, is a really big gift to grow, to better myself, to look within and get to know myself and what I do like and what I don't like. So those are challenges that I think we really, instead of yelling at the person who did this or this to you, really should, or hating your parents who did that or who weren't good enough at this, or really like flipping the script a little and being like, wait, this wasn't ideal. I really didn't want this in my life, but what can I take from it? So that would be one life lesson. The other is like, I was raised in a family, my parents loved me more than I could probably describe. They were amazing, but they were also perfectionists, not because they were putting that on me. They had that pressure for themselves because their family came from the Depression era and they felt like they constantly had to grind. And as a result, that those high expectations did fall on me. And to realize it's never perfect. Success, your life, it's messy. It's like scribble scrabble. Like, you are not going to go in a straight line, and be okay with that. Embrace that. Don't be afraid to move forward because you might make mistakes.
It's like shooting for excellence and understanding it is okay if there's something that doesn't succeed. Like I remember with my first challenge, you were like, "Oh, how'd it go?" And then you told me it failed. And I'm like, "Oh, wait, cool. Yeah, it failed. It's a success or a failure, and there's lessons in both." And when we start to get to that point of, okay, let me work smart, let me do what I need to do to make sure that I can see something succeed, then now we're getting at that point of being able to continue to be seen like, oh, that guy's really going hard, really working hard. It's just not stopping and really making sure that we want to just have the best life for ourselves and others, but something that you do for
Yeah.
yourself and your family.
And I also think those failures are successes, because every step takes you closer to where you want to be. So how could that not be a success?
I think it depends on the person and where they are mentally. If they're able to remove themselves out of the equation to see, what went wrong and where that person can improve, may it be a skill within themselves or communication, leadership, whatever it is, perfect. But I think it's just the language and just everything around us. It's not being spoken about. Like, look at what didn't look at the failure, and now see how you can improve. See what aspects and what pillars of what you were doing needed to improve on.
By the way,
Yeah.
if you look back at my life, or when I put my book out, you'll see, I mean, there are way more what we call failures than successes along the way, for sure. And I'm just saying that because people think like me or you, or someone comes on a podcast or goes on for an interview, oh, they have it all together, everything must be perfect. It is so not true. I mean, even now, as I'm in this business and doing my thing, I make mistakes all the time. What are you going to do?
Laugh it off and keep on walking.
Yeah, exactly. Have fun with it.
Have to. So I want to say thank you. The only thing I have to ask you, would you love to be a part of my book launch team?
Sure. I mean, I don't know what that means. So I said sure, and I don't even know what I'm saying sure to. What is that? That's so me. I'm like ready, fire, aim instead of ready, aim, fire.
So I have a Facebook group where I'm just getting all the people that I've interviewed and whoever's interested to be a part of the book launch team to just get on the book launch. I'm gonna be sharing just the book cover, the different titles, just the process through it, and then when I'm ready to launch, just to ask for you to share. And yeah.
Whatever I can do to support you, I will always do that.
Lovely. And would you know of anybody else that would be great for me to interview?
I definitely do. I have to think about it, but I know for sure that I have people. You have to text me and remind me.
Yeah, I'm gonna shoot you an email and I will text you as well.
Okay, cool. And you might have to stay on me about that, but I'll get you some people.
Hey, you're a hustler. It's either I'm looking for you or you're just gonna keep moving. I get it.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome.
Pam, thank you so much.
It was great to see you.